Hey everyone, Christian here from the Student Success Center.
And Elaine from Lyons New Media Center in Mills Library. And today we are going to be showing you how to design a logo with Adobe Illustrator. Throughout this video, we will be showing you some design fundamentals such as line, shape, and symmetry, and how you can consider these in your design.
Ideally, before you begin your logo design, you want to conduct some market research. That means doing a Google search or going on to Service Ontario to see if the name's already taken or if there's any other logos that are similar to the ones that you're designing. There's a lot to consider when designing a logo for a company or for yourself, as this will be your main signifier for years to come. For this tutorial, we're going to be creating a logo for the fake company Orange Digital Skills. As a side note, if there is a company already using this name, we're in no way affiliated with them. This tutorial is for demonstration purposes only.
Before we begin, let's learn a little bit about what Adobe Illustrator is. So Adobe Illustrator is a vector-based design software versus something like Adobe Photoshop, which is a pixel-based design software. A vector is a line created by joining points. Vectors can be scalable to any dimension without losing resolution, versus a pixeled image because you only have so many pixels to begin with. For a logo design, a vector image is preferred because you can resize your logo for something really small like a business card or something really huge like a billboard, and vectors offer this flexibility. If you don't have access to Adobe Illustrator, you could look into using Inkscape, which is a free and open source vector editing software. Now, with all of that background information out of the way, let's hop right into the tutorial.
Cool. So we're just going to open up Illustrator here and we're going to create an artboard for us to design our logo. If you go to the right here, you'll see that there's a bunch of different measurements that you can choose from. We're just going to go with inches here. We're going to go and create a square artboard, and it'll kind of set it up like this. I'm working on a Windows here, so I'm going to press Alt and scroll out to see what that looks like. So in order to set this up, we're going to go to View and we're going to view our Show Rulers. And I like to double click the rulers up here just around the center mark so that we can kind of split that nicely. And our first tutorial is going to be for text, so we're going to be nice and we're going to name our layers. So we're going to start here, double click and write text, and that will be our first layer. So we'll grab the type tool here on our left, click and drag to expand, and this will give us some of that lorem ipsum text. We'll go to the properties panel, and right now it's our text is Myriad Pro. We are going to press delete, and we're going to write all in cap locks Orange, O-R-A-N-G-E. Now, generally what you're going to want to do when you are designing a logo is you're going to want to do some kind of like have a blank artboard and just draw as many different logos as you can and then kind of get feedback on those designs. But for the sake of this tutorial, we're just going to go with a simple Orange Digital Skills logo, and we're going to create an orange icon to fit where the O is in the word. Cool. So we're just going to center these words right now. If you want to click shift and drag, that will move it in line. What we're going to do is we're going to expand the word orange. We'll say about like 30 points. And then for digital skills, I'm thinking that's looking pretty good at around 12. What we're going to do is we're going to go back to our selection tool, click over both, and we're going to go to a font called Lemon Milk Light. Now, this is a really nice font, and it's available for free on dafont.com, and it's free for personal use, but for commercial use, what you're going to want to do is leave a donation, and we can have a link in the description for that if you want to download any of these free fonts. So these are looking pretty good. Right now we're just going to move up digital skills and kind of position that to where we would closer to where we want it to be. We'll go more into the layout a little bit later.
One of the basic elements of design is the line. Lines can be straight, wavy, jagged, diagonal, dashed, thin, thick, And all these different styles, directions, types of lines can indicate different messages or feelings. Type is essentially composed of a bunch of lines. The typeface chosen for this design is simple. It has sharp and thin lines that are moderately spaced apart. These lines have a clean look to them and provide a sense of freshness or modernism, a perfect choice for a digital media company named after a fruit.
Okay, so now the second part here is we're going to go into the color. We had already picked a few colors that I'm just going to bring these over onto my other artboard. So I have them here. So these are the colors that we're going to be using for our logo, and what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to make the word orange in this like orangey hue here. So we're going to grab the eyedropper tool. It's just the letter I on your keyboard, but not when a word is selected. So we're just going to have that there. Digital skills, same thing. We're going to double click it, go to our eyedropper tool, go to this. And then for here, what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to add a stroke color. So we're going to use the black color here, but it's the same there. And if you zoom in, which would be Alt and then the scroll key, we're going to see that there are some sharp points on the like A and the N. If you go to stroke, you can change the cap around the edges, and that will give it like a nicer kind of feel if we round that out.
Color theory is what informs the intentional selection of colors in a design. It is a great tool for the aesthetic of the visual, but also for the psychology of color association. The color wheel is a great place to start when selecting the colors for your design. Cool colors such as blue, green, and purple are associated with calmness, while warm colors such as yellow, red, and orange are generally associated with energy. When selecting additional colors to be added to your design, you could consider complementary colors, which appear on opposite ends of the color wheel. Or you can consider analogous colors, which appear beside each other on the color wheel. If you also want to play with different tones and shades of the same color, you could go for a monochromatic color scheme in your design. There are many color palette generators available freely out there on the web, so I would suggest checking these out when you can. They are really great in helping you come up with a cohesive color scheme.
Now it's time for us to draw the orange that's going to be sitting here in the O of the orange. And what we're going to do is we're going to go up here on our left and go to our ellipse tool. Now what you want to do is click and hold shift and drag out, and that will scale it proportionally. And now if you let go of shift, you'll see that it kind of gets all wonky, but if you just hold shift, it scales really nicely. And since the last color we used was the orange set, it's going to be actually sized pretty well. What you might want to do is bring that over top, kind of scale it so it's roughly the same size. Cool, so that's looking pretty good, and we're going to bring that up top here. So now that we're outside of the text, let's actually create a new layer and call this one the orange. Cool. So I'm going to click on this orange here, and now see it's in the text layer. I forgot to add that in, so we're going to go there, click to that orange layer, right click it, arrange, and then go send to current layer. So now we're working on that orange layer up top. We're going to lock our text so we can't move it or grab any of that. Cool, so now working with this orange here, what we're going to want to do is click and then Alt and Shift and drag it to the side. So now we have a duplicate. You can also copy and paste it. But what we're going to do here is we're going to remove the fill, and I'll see why that's important in a second. So let's go to the pen tool and add a little bit of shading. What you're going to want to do is grab a point here and like a point here. We're going to create like a crescent moon kind of shape. And we are going to re-click the anchor point, click again there, and just kind of follow the outline. Click the anchor point again to reset, and then kind of follow the outline there. And then we're going to switch from our stroke and put it towards our fill. And then we're going to go up here to the opacity and kind of drop that down somewhere in the 10% range. Let's just add 10 right there. Cool. So that's looking pretty good. And then we're just going to take this, right click it, and go arrange, bring to front, so that now this layer is going to go right on top of that. So that's looking pretty good so far. And then the next thing we need to do is draw the leaves. So we're going to take the pen tool again here, and there's many different ways you can do this. You can go to Windows View and show the grid. You can draw it that way. But I'm just going to go for the sake of this tutorial, we're going to hide the grid, and we're just going to click a point here, go a little bit lower, and then just kind of bellow this out so that we're drawing the shape of a leaf. Cool, and that's looking pretty good. We're going to click on our selection tool, which is option B, click the letter I for our eyedropper tool, and we're going to click on that color that we had chosen here. Now we're going to go back to properties, go to the stroke, double click here and fill that in with black. And that's looking pretty good. We can also round those caps off again so it's kind of more in line with the rest of our design. And let's click it, click the corner here, click shift so it scales proportionally, and kind of push that leaf a little bit lower. Now we're also going to click alt and shift and drag another leaf out of there, and we can kind of position this one a little bit differently, kind of off to the side, put them kind of together. Cool, something like that. Or let's kind of bring it out this way, and maybe we want to bring this one to the front. We can go arrange, bring to front. I kind of like the other way, so we'll Command Z and send that to back. What we'll do is we'll select both and make sure our fill is the same. Let's put it a little bit less at 0.75, and let's group them together, push them around here, and then we're going to arrange and send it to the back.
Another element of design is shape. Shape, as you can guess it, is any two-dimensional area defined by a boundary. Shapes can be circular, rectangular, or organic. The shape created in this design is the circular shape of the orange and the organic shapes of the leaves. The actual body of the orange is a perfect circle to mimic the O in the word orange. Shape is intentional here. When we add light and shadow to a shape, we introduce another element of design called form. Form is what turns a two-dimensional shape into a seemingly three-dimensional object by adding a sense of depth and realism to the design. Realism can be taken a step further with texture. For this logo design, Christian intentionally didn't add texture to the surface of the orange because he was following a more flat design approach.
Now that we have this, we're going to go back to our layers panel, and we're going to change the alignment. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to unlocking our text options here, or our text panel. We're going to go to the property section, click on orange, and what we're going to do is we're going to create outlines. So this is really useful if you want to scale something, but you also, now that the outlines are created, you cannot type, so I can't change any of the letters. But what we're going to do here is we're just going to click on the O and delete it, and then kind of scale our orange right back into our logo. So that's what our logo is generally going to look like. But what we're going to do is we're going to move the letters so that they kind of sit on the line here. We'll move our orange so it sits on the line here, and we're just going to try and play around with some of the positioning and some of the spacing here between the letters, which is known as the kerning. So we're going to do that. We'll also go here to our guides and add just kind of like another guide in there, just so we can see what's, get it kind of as close as possible. For this, what we're going to want to do is bring it up. Now you can play around with the positioning, but I think a little bit closer kind of pushes the whole thing a little bit together.
Balance is achieved in a design by distributing visual weight. This process comes more naturally over time and as you move objects around in your design to see what looks best. Sometimes, when balance is achieved so thoroughly, a design becomes symmetrical. Symmetry is achieved by creating a design that is mirrored along a horizontal, vertical, or even diagonal axis. Asymmetry is also a design choice and has been applied to the logo in this tutorial. As we can see, the orange drawing is on the left, and it is what makes this logo intentionally asymmetrical and also helps establish a focal point.
Yeah, I think this is looking pretty good. And from here, now that you're playing within both layers, you can click and drag and move them around. If you really want, you can go back to the properties here, maybe like left align this, see how that looks, scale this one up if you really want to, but what's really good about kind of making a logo like this is that your logo and your design is now reduction. It's more of a reduction thing that you can do. So you can choose to include the entire design on like a branding, like business cards or things like that, or you can actually just use the orange by itself. So if you click Alt and Shift, you can just leave it like that. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add another layer, and we're just going to go to Google for a second, and we're just going to create a really quick mock-up. We're going to type in plain white t-shirt. And what's really good here is we can just kind of go to images here, click on an image that we like, and then kind of create like a very quick mock-up without actually having to go anything. We're just going to right click this, copy the image, and we're going to paste it into our layer. And we're going to put this layer behind the text so that all of our stuff shows. And we're just going to click the corner here, resize it, and then lock that layer so now this doesn't move. And what we're going to do is we're going to click this, group it together, and now you can actually drag this onto your t-shirt, kind of play with the sizing, like maybe you want to put that in the center, you can see how that looks, or if you want to make it smaller and kind of put it over like where the pocket would be here, and that's really looking good. And if you ever want to try it out too, just with the logo, you can put that on top there, and just kind of see just like a rough like how it would look. And it's really nice to do to kind of see what other branding you want to do. If you want to put on business cards, you can mock up your own design and put it on there. If you're trying to put it on a sweater, you can do that too. Just grab an image from Google just to see roughly how it's going to look. Yeah, I think that kind of wraps it up. Just make sure whenever it comes down to brainstorming the logos, make sure that you take some input from other people. Sketch out your design, see what people like, because it is going to be the face of your company too. So you're going to want to make sure that it's easy to understand, there's good color contrast so people can read it, and you want to make sure that it is easily recognizable. Stay tuned for our next episode in the Digital Skills series, where we move away from graphic design and explore the world of video. Thanks for watching!